Do you feel the vibes?
Alright, what up guys, it's me here. For this video, we're just going to be going over some like very important tips to just getting better at COD. Just things, little things, big things that you could do to just help you perform better in game and stuff. And I'd say the first and most important thing is your setup. I'd say having a monitor is definitely the most important. The jump from 60 Hz to 144 is probably the biggest jump you'll probably do. But going from 30 Hz, like a TV, to a monitor, that honestly is actually probably the biggest one. That will change your entire gameplay experience and how you feel. As soon as I got a monitor, I felt way faster. I felt like I was hitting better, and I felt like I was moving cleaner. So other than like a monitor though, I would say definitely like a headset. A headset would probably I'd say because you pay for quality. So I'd say from anywhere from like 70, like a 70 to like probably like 110 is probably a good medium area for a good headset, because those like Turtle Beach headsets you get from Walmart, those like $30, those aren't gonna, like, you can't use that, bro. Like if you actually want to take the game seriously, you can't use that. I would say the next step is a good controller. Just, I don't know, I have a normal controller, nothing crazy, just $60 Walmart new gen controller, just normal stuff. But yeah, I mean, you could also look into getting a scuff if you want the paddles or whatever. I personally don't need it, so I don't buy it. Alright, so moving on to the next thing, I think your settings. Your settings are definitely the next most important thing. If you don't have a good settings, that could honestly, that alone could probably ruin your gameplay and make you feel clunky, uncomfortable. And definitely when you're gaming and you're trying to get to that next level, I would say, yeah, your settings are the most important, because you have to feel comfortable, because everything else that comes after that, you'll never get it. Alright, and so to continue on with that, so I would say your sensitivity is definitely a big one. I personally play on 5.5. I'd say the highest you'd want to go is 7.7, and maybe the lowest probably 4.4. I like 5.5. I think it's a good middle, as it's a good median. And I would say probably the next biggest thing is your input layout. So that's like being stick and move, bumper jumper, tactical. You gotta play with each one to see how they feel. I personally play with stick and move. I like jumping with my right analog stick. I think it feels comfortable. There's also a thing that you can do on Xbox accessories, and you can rebind buttons, or not rebind, but remap buttons, and that also can help you become more comfortable with your controls. There's also little things that you can do, like about like FOV, for example. I started off playing this game at 95, but I honestly didn't really like it at first, so I bumped it up to 100. Then I watched some pro gameplay, and I saw Shotzi was playing on 110, so I tried out 110, and I actually really like 110. I think 110 it makes me feel good, it makes me feel very fluid, and I would definitely recommend 110 FOV, and yeah. Classes are the next most important thing. Classes, that basically just sets you up for success, of course. Especially in comp, you gotta respect GAs if you want to play like 8s, or if you want to get into that, or if you want to be like play wages and stuff. There's always a rule set, and you have to follow that. But I'm just gonna be doing basically just only like 8s, G8 classes for now, just pro classes. Alright, so I'll throw up a couple of quick pro classes. You can copy these if you want. I think the only thing that changed is the MP40. I wouldn't really use the fast mags. I definitely would not recommend that. And for the carver grip, I'd use the pistol grip, the SM whatever pistol grip. But other than that, yeah, they both came from FaZe Simps videos, so definitely credit out to him, my guy. Thank you, mwah, daddy. Alright, the next portion of this video will be about actual in-game warm-up. I suppose that's probably what you all came here for. So my warm-up routine is I kill 200 bots. And people say, oh, why not kill like 1,000 or like 500 or something? That's because you're going to burn yourself out. I'd say stick to 200. I do 100 with a sub, like the MP40. And then I do 100 with an AR, like the STG or the automaton. Just, that's up to you. But, so when you're when you're warming up though, you want to be practicing your movement. You don't just want to be walking around or just running around. You want to be slide canceling. You want to get loose. You want to, like, just like if you played any sports, you run around, you practice your movement, what you do normally in a game. It's really important that you practice those things. Another very important thing is practicing your centering. The centering is the beginning of all things. Because if you want to become snappy, like how you see like pros like Abizi or Simp, is you got to practice your centering. If you have really good centering and you trust your aim, that's what's going to allow you to snap on the people. Another thing you could practice while doing that is basically resetting your aim after every kill. So that's when you un-ADS and you ADS again, because then it locks your aim assist onto the target again. So it makes it a little bit easier to aim. It does a little bit more. The game does work for you basically. Right. So I think the next things you can do outside of the game, we already talked about a few, but things like getting a good amount of sleep is always very important. Going into setting goals for yourself, like let's say you go into an AIDS lobby and like just making sure you consistently get the same amount of kills. Consistency is key, and it's very important because that's why pros are so good. That's what differs. That's what differentiates a pro from a normal Joe. Consistency at a very high level. That's why they're pros, meaning professionals. They're professionals at what they do. So things like getting sleep, setting goals, being positive, being open to criticism, those are all good. And if you don't practice those things, you're only going to make it harder for yourself. I personally still struggle with criticism. That's probably, I don't know. I have a big ego. I try to keep it in check sometimes, but sometimes I don't. That's something I've always struggled with, and these things are not going to happen overnight. Some of these things that I'm saying are actual like real life changes that will affect your life outside of video games as well. Being like open to criticisms, things like that. That's something I've always struggled with. But other than that, I don't really know. Just good luck. Leave a like. I hope this helped you. It probably did. It probably won't. Who knows?